that we've been having this conversation, and it happened, towards the end of the year, a few years back when all of this was exposed, and this really became such a nightmare for so many that have suffered through this. And you've been on the front lines of this for some time, looking at where things are at right now as you look at this process. I mean, and looking back and reflecting back to what the last 2 years have been like for you. What are your just overall feelings with where things are at right now, and how far you guys have come?
When I first learned about the whole underground fuel storage tanks of the Navy at Red Hill, that was back in 2014. At that time, the emphasis was trying to keep that facility. The military and the regulators were focused on keeping that facility operational for maybe another 30 or 40 years. So I never dreamed that we would actually reach this point where 104 million gallons have been removed, the majority of the fuel out of that facility. So it's like like I've woken up from a dream, and suddenly a big threat that was hanging over our water resources in that area has been removed. So it's a very positive thing, almost surreal. But I want to attribute the success of this effort of achieving that not to the Board of Water Supply or Ernie Lau or just a few of us that have been working on it for a long time. It's really the efforts and of the community, our Native Hawaiian, Kanaka Maoli community, community stakeholders, all different types, people that are young, our children, our keiki, our adults, our seniors, our kupuna, all coming together with one voice that made this happen. So mahalos to them.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the work that still needs to be done. One of the big things outstanding is a pretty significant monetary claim that your agency has filed against the Navy, $1.21 billion asking for. Where is that process? What would that money go toward? And what have you heard in response?
So what we did, back on October 28th, we filled out a claim form. It's called an SF, I think, 95. Filled out that form and submitted it to the Judge Advocate General in Norfolk, Virginia. And this is utilizing the provisions allowable under the Federal Tort Claims Act. We had to file that form within 2 years, which is the statute of limitations. If we didn't file it within 2 years, we'd lose this opportunity forever. So I've always been clear to everybody that we are going to pursue cost recovery from the U.S. Navy, from the Department of Defense. This situation at Red Hill was preventable. They knew they had problems for many years. So they really should pay for the cost of dealing with this. And if we get that money, if I had a Christmas wish right now to Santa, I would say, Santa, can you put a check for $1.21 billion in my at the Board of Water Supply? Come up and you can come to our lobby and give us that check. That would be a tremendous Christmas present. But I know the reality is they may not turn over that money to us willingly. So this process now goes, they have about 6 months to respond to us, of which there are only 5 months remaining. And depending on the response, if they deny the claim, we have the option to file a lawsuit against the U.S. Navy.